So Spider-Man games can actually count to 3. I'm amazed.
Yeah, so am I.
How you guys doing today? So if you couldn't tell by that joke, we're talking about not the movie, unfortunately, or depending on your point of view on it. We're talking about the game. We're actually talking about 2 games, technically.
Well, I will be, at least.
Yeah. So this was released on the 7th generation of consoles. You know, like the PS3, Xbox 360, Wii. But because the Wii was basically a slightly souped up GameCube, they had to make a completely different game for it, which was also on PS2. We'll get to that in a little bit. So I'll admit, I was actually pretty excited for this game. Oh boy. I mean, I liked Ultimate Spider-Man. Everyone loves Spider-Man 2, so I was like, oh yeah, next the sequel to that. Let's play it. Where do we begin?
Where do we start?
Well, the opening makes no sense.
I'm gonna die.
Boom!
The ending to this game's tutorial mission has been memed into the ground.
Like, where did they get that? Where did they get that opening sequence from? Like, what?
I mean, we've already established that the movie tie-in games do their own stuff. They just try to weave in movie story elements into them, so this is no different.
At least the first game's the opening sequence sort of followed the movie, and the second game, kinda.
Yeah, kinda.
This, no.
Yeah.
Not even a little. But there's this, like, group of bombers, and Spider-Man has to save them. And you immediately see the difference in quality from 2 and Ultimate to this. Oh, like, immediately. Holy crap.
Can I just start off by saying that this game looks like it's made in a Gmod?
It does. Like, oh my god.
Even for games that came out early in that console generation, this game looks terrible.
The only model that looks kind of decent is Spider-Man.
Yeah, but that's because you can't see his face.
Exactly. Like, if they have actual faces, they look like the alien from what's that? Destroy All Humans. Like, tell me I'm wrong though.
No, that's a really good way to describe it.
I mean, just what the hell happened here? But since we already talked about it, Spider-Man feels really weird in this game. Oh my god.
Yeah, his swing is unbelievably heavy, and his combat feels limp.
Swinging, he feels like he has an anchor on his feet.
Yeah, I know.
Really weird. And combat, what happened?
Dude, it feels so loose. Like, you don't feel the impact in his punches and kicks in this game. It's
not even a little, which makes the boss fights terrible.
Now, the boss fights have a couple of the boss fights have their own unique set of issues because they require you to use a mechanic that's not well implemented.
Oh, not even a little.
I'm talking about the Kingpin fight specifically.
Oh, I knew what you were talking about because that fight can go blow me.
Yeah.
Jesus, why Kingpin's in this game is beyond me. But so the way the game works after that opening, it has like 10 different story scenarios, and only one of them is based on the movie. And it's an abridged version of a movie whose plot isn't really that great to begin with.
You want to know what's funny, though? The game's version of the movie plot does do something better than the actual movie plot itself.
Is it Venom's design?
No.
No, I was about to say, don't you dare.
It's one of the things that's always bothered me about Spider-Man 3's plot is that Sandman teaming up with Venom in the movie makes absolutely no sense, because he teams up with Venom, and then when everything is said and done, he tells, Peter, I didn't want to be involved in this. Well, then why did you team up with Venom?
At least in the game, Venom captures the kid.
Exactly. Venom blackmails Sandman. So the final fight in the context of the game's plot makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, it does, actually.
So,
Granted, Venom would never do that anyway.
no,
but
that's
well,
very un-Venom-like. But
I mean, granted, movie Venom from Spider-Man 3 is like the worst version of Venom that ever existed.
that
But
70s Venom.
oh god. But none of the storylines really tie in together at all.
No.
They're just there. Like, the Lizard's in there because Rhino's there because DeWolf is there because Craven's
back.
Scorpion's back, and they don't explain it. Is Craven in both versions? Or is he just in the Wii version?
I don't remember him being in the HD version.
I know, like, Morbius is also in the Wii version. Weird.
Yeah, Morbius is the final Morbius. The part of the Morbius storyline is bizarre because you end up fighting like an army of vampires on top of a church.
That's weird. I can't remember all the villains on top of my head.
It's such a stupid mission.
Like, there's the only boss fights that are based on the movie are New Goblin, Sandman, and the final boss, Venom. Which that's already too many villains for a movie, but that's a
Guys, I need to talk about the Venom fight real quick. So
what aren't there two?
Well, in the HD version, it takes place, in the same location where it took place in the movie, in the construction site, in the incompleted building. But in the standard def version, it takes place in front of the building. That's not really the point I want to bring up. The point I want to bring up is how Venom moves in that fight. Do you know how Voldo's idle animation is in Soul Calibur?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how he walks.
Why?
I know. I'm not even joking. Venom is doing the jive on the Wii and PS2 version during the boss fight.
You know something about the Wii version that bugs me? Speaking of the Venom thing?
What?
I've seen the cutscene. Why is his voice different in the Wii version? In the 360 PS3 version, he sounds like a monster. And in the Wii version, he sounds like Topher Grace with an alien filter. It's really weird.
Yeah.
And Venom looks really weird in this game. He looks nothing like he does in the movie.
Dude, it's like they tried to make him bulky like he looks in the comics, but it doesn't work with the design of Venom in the Raimi movies.
Well, because Eddie Brock's bulky in the comics, isn't he? He's a big dude.
Eddie Brock's a bodybuilder.
Yeah, so Venom wouldn't be muscular if the person under the suit isn't.
But also, his head is really fat.
It is! He looks weird! And he calls himself I, which is just wrong.
Well, even the movie did that.
Well, no, like I'm saying, the movie Venom is terrible.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about the movie, so I have to complain about the game here. But, the story is just... The movie, but worse, is just basically the best way to describe it.
Which is saying a lot. Because
Spider-Man
3 sucks.
Spider-Man 3 is up there with the worst Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
I don't care if you love the movie, good for you. You're wrong, but good for you. Let's talk about the thing we really need to rant about here. The fucking gameplay.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I know that we kind of talked about this when we were going over Ultimate. When I said that I thought Ultimate Spider-Man took some steps backwards from Spider-Man 2, but that's more just perspective. I know there's going to be people that actually might prefer Ultimate Spider-Man being a slower, more simplistic game.
But
this genuinely is a step backwards.
This is like 5 steps backwards, dude.
Is it wrong for me to say that Spider-Man 2 looks better?
No and yes. If you're talking about the PS2 Wii version, I agree with you. The 360 version, Spider-Man's model looks a little better.
I'm talking about just the game in general, because even this game's lighting engine looks wonky.
The city looks like crap too.
Dude, like in both versions, but the HD version specifically has no reason looking as bad as it does.
The pop-in is disgusting.
Oh yeah.
Like, if I know we complained about it in Sonic Frontiers, but oh my god.
Yeah.
I had a glitch in the 360 version one day where I just fell through a building and was stuck there.
Yeah, that happens a lot in that game. The hit detection on the buildings doesn't load in sometimes. I'm convinced that this game was rushed or something.
It had to be.
Because like I think I said the same thing about Ultimate Spider-Man, but this genuinely does feel like it though. Like Ultimate Spider-Man felt like there was some content and stuff that was cut intentionally.
But that game still felt polished.
Yeah, this game still felt good. This game legitimately feels like it was pooped out in way less time than it needed to.
This wasn't around the same realm of time frame that Sonic 06 came out too. So the 360 era did not start great.
No.
Oh man.
I mean, at least Sonic 06 graphically looked better than this.
Had a better soundtrack too.
Well, yeah.
But Jesus Christ, this game, Spider-Man's combat feels like Batman Vengeance, but crappy.
I never actually played that game before.
That game doesn't feel great either. I don't see why people like it as much as they do, but this feels jank and clunky. And it feels like you're playing Tekken 1 almost.
Yeah, like cuz they try to give Spider-Man the kind of multiple button combo system like he had in Spider-Man 2, but it's still kind of mapped out like Ultimate Spider-Man's more simplistic combat engine, and it just does not work at all.
And that slowdown mechanic, Jesus Christ.
Oh, dude, that thing stinks. Like, I know that Spider-Man 2 had that same mechanic, but in that game it was actually very powerful and pretty smooth, but what
this game
happened here?
I don't know. It makes the boss fights. It's the only way to actually beat the bosses.
Yeah.
It's like that boss fight with Kingpin.
Yeah, we need to talk about the black suit. So the black suit does have its own unique mechanic, and
I think about halfway through the game, you get the black suit.
Yeah, and it has a unique mechanic called the rage mode, where it builds up over time just from you laying into people, like, you know, hitting opponents increases the bar, but it also has a manual charge feature where you just mash, I forgot what button it was, left R1 L1 or something.
I think it was L1 left bumper one. It's been years since I played this game.
You mash the button and it fills the meter that way, but that takes literally forever. I think it's like 2 minutes or something before you can get it to fully charge. And they have the stupid idea of making some bosses they can only be hurt if you're in rage mode. And rage mode does not last very long.
No, it does. You gotta build that meter up constantly.
Yeah. So the Kingpin boss fight, and the reason why I singled this one out, because this is where it was at its most egregious, is that you activate rage mode, you go down to him, you hit him like 4 or 5 times, and then you jump up into the ceiling, and then mash L1 for 2 minutes, jump back down, hit him about 4 or 5 times, jump back into the ceiling, mash L1, repeat. It's just so stupid.
It's sluggish. It's tedious. Give the game credit. I do actually prefer playing as Black Suit Spider-Man just because he feels stronger, as he should.
Yeah, he does. I think he does have like a stat increase.
And he's stronger and faster, so it makes the fights more tolerable.
Yeah.
But then you switch back to Red Suit for the final boss, and it's like, what else? In the Wii version, you can manually switch between the two.
Well, you can manually switch between the two, but then you have to unlock it post-game.
Which is so stupid!
And I don't even know if it's possible to unlock it post-game, because when you get to post game, there's a prompt that says there's 100 spider symbol icons scattered around the city. If you find and collect them all, you can play as the black suit. Well, that's stupid because the HD version just gives it to you automatically. But
Well, the HD version, it makes a little more sense because you can't switch back and forth. It's an unlock. Then you beat the game. You can play through the whole game with the black suit. Okay,
yeah.
fine.
But the reason why I said I don't know if it's possible to unlock it is because when me and my brother were playing that game when it was still relatively new, we found a video guide or a map guide to find all the things. I'm convinced they didn't all load.
That's really funny. Because the PS2 Wii version bugged out the ass. Oh my god.
Oh no. I
Tell them your story. Tell them your story.
I told this a while back. Yeah, I can sum up the standard def version of this game with this plot. Okay, so swinging through the city, one of those stolen purse missions starts up. You don't have to go talk to the person who got the purse stolen from. You just have to track down the guy who has it and then return it. So I found the guy, beat him up, took the purse, and then it points me in the direction of the person who owns the purse. So I swung to the person, gave him the purse. It was a black woman. I hand her the purse. She says, "Thank you, Spider-Man," in like this Mexican dude's voice. Turns around. There was an ambulance parked right behind her. She turns around and walks through the ambulance. And then I'm standing there for like 2 seconds wondering what is going on here. And then a giant mission failed prompt popped up on the screen and I lost experience. I was at a loss for words.
Programming of the gods, ladies and gentlemen. Programming of the gods.
But amongst other things, because I played the Wii version specifically, which is probably the even worse version because it has motion controls. I'm not even joking. Combat is just flail the Wiimote wildly and hope you beat them up. I don't know. I don't know how the control scheme in the PS2 version worked.
But early Wii game. Woo.
If you thought the city was barren in the HD version, I'm convinced that it's a blank playground in the standard def version. The only cars you see are the ones that are mission specific.
Dude, that is one of the ugliest games on the Wii.
Dude, the game it genuinely does look worse than Spider-Man 2.
It really does. I don't know what happened. And I told you guys in the last review, I didn't think Spider-Man 2 really looked great. But from what I've seen of this game, Jesus Christ.
I know, dude. It has a case, the standard def version of Spider-Man 3 to be the worst Spider-Man, at least the worst 3D Spider-Man game ever made. I'm convinced it is.
Of all the ones I've played, that's among them.
Well, the PC version of Spider-Man 2 is up there.
I haven't played that, so I can't comment on it.
I haven't played it, but I've watched a full playthrough of it, and trust me, it's not a big time waster. It only takes about an hour and a half to beat the PC version of Spider-Man 2. It's that pathetic.
That's less time than the movie.
Yeah, I know.
The movie's like what, 2 hours or something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it takes less time to beat that game than it does to watch the actual movie.
Just watch the movie. Like what the?
That's actually impressive now that I say that out loud.
I mean, that's a way to look at it.
Oh gosh.
There are also a lot of side missions in this game, and you get nothing for them. Yeah. Not to my knowledge.
I mean, you didn't get anything in Spider-Man 2 either.
I mean, I went out of my way to do them all when I first got this game, because I was like, well, it was a gift from my grandparents. I'm going to play it.
I mean, it's actually easier to 100% this game than the last two.
Oh, this game is not hard.
No, it's not.
At all.
It's not hard. It's just so mechanically jank that it's not easy to beat certain missions.
I actually find the races in this game a lot easier than Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man.
Because they don't ask you to do stupid tricks like, orbit swing around this radio tower, but then you orbit swing around the 80 radio tower power 7 times and it doesn't register.
Yeah, that's true.
Spider-Man 2's races were stupid.
So were Ultimates.
Yeah, Ultimates were like, you need to swing up this building, but we don't give you a way to move upward vertically while swinging.
So there's one thing I do want to talk about. There was a PS3 collector's edition of the game. And that came with the ability to play as the new Goblin.
Actually, the Xbox 360 version got him as DLC later.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, because that's the version, the HD version I played, and I did get him.
Okay, and he's terrible.
Dude, it's actually kind of hilarious how he can break the open world.
Oh, he does.
Because you can find where they stopped, where they didn't put the invisible wall, because the invisible wall has like a dome over the city. The very top of the dome doesn't exist, so you can kind of fly out of the invisible blocks around.
Hilarious.
Yeah, and then
something about him too. Something about him too. Regardless if you get DLC or not, you still have to play as him at one point. Like, no matter what, you have to play as him. So he's already in the game. Why not just make him an unlockable?
Oh yeah, I forgot. You have to fight Sandman with him one time.
Mm-hmm. Why not just make him an unlockable then if he's already in the game?
That is a very good point. I mean, I think it would have been more fun if they allowed you to play through the game with him.
Kind of like in the first game where they let you play as Green Goblin.
Oh yeah, and that's the best way to play that game.
Yeah.
Easily. And I feel like playing as this guy would have trivialized a lot of stuff in Spider-Man 3 too.
Something about this too, in both in the movie and the HD game, when he goes to help Peter, he's back at home. In the Wii version, he's still in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
I know. He leaves the hospital and then ends up at the construction site in his Goblin gear. Like, what?
At least if he's at home, his Goblin gear's there with him. But granted, they don't have the in the movie they have that second fight. That doesn't happen in this game. They only fight the one time.
Dude, the new Goblin fight when you're in Peter's street clothes is horrible.
And the people can just see you. They can just see you running around swinging, and they don't question it.
Like
it's so stupid.
It's even worse in the Wii version because there's a segment where you're hanging on the bottom of the glider, because I know that's in the HD version too. But you have to, it's like one of these dodging games where you have to switch between lanes of traffic, because he's able to like jerk the glider to the side to move it around cars, and it's tied to you like moving the Wiimote left and right. And that game is not very responsive with its motion controls, so that part of the game is ridiculously hard for no reason.
And I can't even make the argument it was an early Wii game. It came out the same year as Mario Galaxy. Okay, like, come on.
Wow, that's twist the knife.
Honestly, though, that's like one of the best games ever. And this, like, honestly, Sonic and the Black Knight, I have more fun playing than this game. Not that I've played the Wii version, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Oh, there's one other thing. There are QuickTime events all over the place in this game. And they come out of nowhere, and they are terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think every single portion of the game has them somewhere.
Yeah, it's not great.
I'm gonna die! Like that part. Oh my god. Are they in the Wii version too?
Who?
Are there QuickTime events in the Wii version?
Are they? I honestly don't remember.
Oh, shit. Because they're all over the place on the HD version.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Now, let me be 100% here. If you are a Spider-Man fan, right? You still have no reason to play this game.
No, either of them.
like, even if you are like the biggest Spider-Man fan in the world, I am sorry. Don't even grab this game to complete your collection. This isn't even like a mediocre-ish game. This is just bad.
Yeah, both of them.
Honestly.
I mean, honestly, I would say the standard def version is the kind of game that's so bad that you can play it for like laughs.
Like, whereas the HD version, objectively, is the better game.
Yes, but that honestly makes it less fun to play.
Like, I get what you're saying, because Sonic 06, crap game. I love playing it to see if I can break it in half.
Well, that, and I do think the game has some good level design, but
that's a video for another day.
Yeah.
This was one of my first 360 games. And Jesus Christ.
I know, and it's weird because the last two games we got on the gen before are still loved to this day, but then the first game of the next gen, whew.
Everyone, yeah, I mean, it's not very similar.
I'm wondering if it was because they were still learning the specs of the new consoles and they just didn't quite know what to do. I wonder if
my argument there is Gears of War came out the year before.
That's an Activision thing, isn't it?
Epic Games made Gears of War.
That's Epic. Oh, well, I mean,
and then Lost Planet came out the beginning of the year.
Yeah, but I mean, that doesn't mean Activision was able to, piece it together. But then again,
well, didn't they make Call of Duty? Don't they make Call of Duty too?
Yeah, they do.
And they have Call of Duty games on the console.
Yeah, that's why I'm convinced that this game was rushed.
It had to be, because like I see where your argument's going, but there are just other games that ran better that came out before this. I mean, shit. I can't even think of a defense.
No.
It's rushed to tie in with the movie. That's all I can think of. And like the movie in and of itself it got a mixed critical reception. Right. I think it was also mixed, but the fan response was just like, what the hell is this game?
Yeah, no, it's one of the few instances where the critics were more positive about the game than the fans were.
Honestly, yeah, because I remember I saw it getting like 6.7s, 6.5s, and I saw fan reception was like, oh, this game's a 4, this game's a 3. I was like, oh my god, what happened here?
Yeah, no, this game, the HD version is like a 5 at best.
Yeah, the Wii version is probably like a 2.
I would say a 3.5, because I'm gonna give it an extra half because it's so bad it's funny.
Are there any like unlockables or anything for this one?
No.
I know when you beat the game, you can play through the whole thing as the Black Suit, and you can do Black Suit Spider-Man versus Venom.
But, yeah, but that's it, really.
Wow. I'm really glad we have the new Spider-Man games that actually have things worth unlocking.
Yeah.
Was there a portable version of this one?
There was a PSP and a DS version. I've never played either of them.
Okay, yeah, I don't know.
So I know nothing about either of them. I think there was a PSP version.
Was the PC version of this another crap-tastic mess?
Well,
or was it the same?
I know that Ultimate Spider-Man's PC version was just a console version. Just runs better. It was just a better version of the console version. I don't know what the PC version of this game was.
If there was a PC version.
I know it existed. I just don't know what it looked like.
My guess is it's probably just a port of the HD version.
I would assume so, but
that's the version that people seem to say is the better? I don't know. Around the same time Spider-Man Friend or Foe came out. I've never played it.
Yeah,
Have
I
you?
can I can briefly talk about this game then, because that game is not worth doing a full video on.
I know nothing about it. I never touched
It
it.
is it tries to be a 3D arcade beat 'em up using character designs based off the Raimi trilogy, where it has Goblin, Venom, Spider-Man, Black Cat as playable characters.
Why
And you can
Black
have
Cat?
I don't know why she's here. But those like to play unlockable characters, and it's like a thing where Mysterio's the main enemy of the game. But I mean, if you like just insanely basic beat 'em ups, the game isn't bad, but it also does nothing special. It's just the most bland kind of beat 'em up you could get.
It's just a game that exists. Basically.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I can say about it. Like, there's nothing special about it. It's just you play through it once, you get your kicks, and then you never touch it again.
All right.
I would say it's more fun than these two games, but not by much.
Oh shit! Does Toby do the voice of Spider-Man?
No. It has.
Oh.
I know. It's the character designs for Spidey, Venom, Ock, and Goblin are the Raimi designs, but they don't have any of the Raimi voice actors come back for it.
Is it just an original story?
It's an original story. Yeah. I don't remember who voices Spider-Man in that game. Now that I think about it.
Huh. All right.
I'm gonna look that up real quick.
Okay.
Because I can't remember who voices Spider-Man in this game.
Oof. Yeah.
James Arnold Taylor.
Does he actually?
Yeah, he does.
What the?
Wow.
I was not
expecting. Was in this game too. I forgot about that.
They got Titus to do Spider-Man. That's funny.
Ha 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 ha.
And you know, as much as I love Final Fantasy X, yeah, he's also Ratchet.
Every time his voice comes up, every time his name comes up, that's just the first thing that comes to mind.
And what else can you think of other than ha ha ha? I mean,
yeah, no.
If they remake Final Fantasy X, that scene better be in the game.
If it's not, we riot.
Yeah, no, honestly, we'll riot. We'll riot the Square Enix.
And I hope whoever they get to voice him in that game intentionally makes that laugh bad just for the callback.
Like we'll riot them because someone stole an election. That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Oh god. Oh god. Why did I do that? We're gonna get fucking flagged. Anywho, so if I were to rank the HD version of the game, because I can't comment on the Wii version, I'd give it like a 5.
Yeah, it's definitely a 5 at best.
At best, because there are points where I want to drop it to like a 3 because it pisses me off.
Oh but, yeah, when the game is at its worst, it's borderline unplayable. But
like, hot take here, I would rather play Sonic and the Secret Rings than Spider-Man 3.
I don't know if I can go that far.
I'm sorry,
I can't go that far. Like, Secret Rings infuriates me on a personal level too much for me to
Secret Rings is don't misunderstand. I don't like Secret Rings, but I have more fun with it than this fuck. Secret Rings I at least remember, if not for the right reasons. I still remember it.
I don't know if that helps defend your point.
I mean, it stayed with me longer, and it looks better.
Well, yeah, I don't think that was ever in question.
Like, this looks better than the 360 version. Like, that looks better than the 360 version of Spider-Man 3. So, regardless, if you are gonna play this game, don't. But if you're gonna get the 360 version, I've heard it's a little more stable than the PS3 version.
It is. The 360 version, I've never had any issues with it when it comes to like FPS and crashing and whatever.
I never played the PS3 version, even though I used to have a 360. I don't anymore, but I used to. That's what I played it on. Next time, we're going to be talking about a really random one. This one just kind of came out of nowhere. Spider-Man Web of Shadows.
A game that, for some reason, has, as much as I like it, has been overhyped lately.
Yeah, we'll talk about that one next time. So stay tuned for that. Until then, you guys have yourselves a fantastic night. Take care.